It's time for a quick time update, a review of the January meetings of the Douglas County Board of Commissioners, January 5th and January 15th. With me is County Manager Jim Nichols. And Jim, the first order of business on January 5th was to elect a chairman and a vice chairman. What happened there?
Correct. And the board decided to reappoint Chairman Johnson and Vice Chairman McDermott. They'll be serving those roles for the remainder of 2015 after having served in them in 2014 as well.
Okay. Also, commissioners appointed local residents to various citizen advisory boards and committees, and it really is good to see all the people that step forward and volunteer for these committees.
Right. We had, it had to be over a dozen different individuals appointed to our various committees and boards, and it's worth noting that they really provide a valuable service because they are a great asset to the board in helping advise us regarding various issues that affect the county.
Sure, they really are the eyes and the ears of the board out in the community.
Definitely.
Also, commissioners made their own appointments too. A lot of people think commissioners just serve a couple of meetings a month, but there's a lot of other boards that they're involved with. I wonder if you could give us kind of a highlight of that, some of the boards they serve on,
Sure.
And maybe the numbers, how many they serve on.
Sure. Well, some of the highlights, for example, we have a new commissioner, Steve Thaler. He's on about 7 or 8 different committees himself, including Carson Valley Chamber and Visitors Authority, as well as the Carson Valley Arts Council. Commissioner Johnson is very involved with NACO, which is the Nevada Association of Counties. Commissioner Greg Lynn is on the Carson Water Sub-Conservancy District, and I believe he's serving as the chairman this year. Commissioner McDermott is very aggressive in her service on different committees and boards, and she's on the Joint Powers Waste Management Group as well as the Carson Truckee Water Conservancy District, serving there as an alternate. And then Commissioner Penzel, amongst several different groups he serves on, is also on the Carson Water Sub-Conservancy as well as the Law Library. So each of my board members serves anywhere from 4 to 8 or 9 different other advisory groups, and so their time is heavily committed on behalf of the county.
All right, very good. Also at that meeting of the 5th, commissioners also were considering sanctions on the liquor license of Walmart in Gardnerville. They had a second violation of selling alcohol to a minor. What kind of sanctions were they considering?
Well, they ended up with some additional training being necessary for the folks who sell liquor to the customers of Walmart, and they were informed that they have a 2-year window where they cannot see another violation of this nature, or else additional sanctions may be applied.
Okay, let's move on to the January 15th meeting. And really the 2 highlights of that meeting were 2 ordinances that the commissioners approved. In fact, they gave their final approval, the second reading of the ordinances. And they approved the new area plans for Round Hill, a portion of Douglas County outside the South Shore area plan, and the Kingsbury Manor Mobile Home Park. And the other ordinance was an approval of implementation of the Tahoe Douglas area plan.
Both were very important and have taken a great deal of time and effort on the part of the entire county staff to get to this point. But both are important because they now place us in alignment with TRPA and their regulations. So we're very happy that moving forward we will have well-structured plans that will guide development throughout the lake region.
Okay, and one more item to look at is a preview of the upcoming meetings in February. Do you have any previews for us?
Well, the big one that I want to highlight will be that on February 5th, I'll be bringing the candidates to the board for their consideration for the clerk-treasurer appointment. We had 3 candidates who were being considered. They recently went through a public reception process, and the advisory committee that's assisting in this decided to send all 3 candidates forward to the board for consideration. The board will have a number of different choices, including appointing one of those candidates, interviewing them, or deciding to reject candidates and start the process over. And we'll see what happens on February 5th.
Okay. Well, Jim, I want to thank you for sharing all that information with us on the Quick Time Update. The Quick Time Update featuring the meetings of the Board of Commissioners in January. I'm Lloyd Higuera for County Manager Jim Nichols for the Quick Time Update.